Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Now I'm going to assume that you lot watched last week's video. If not, I'm going to leave a link in the description though and probably in a pinned comment. I was underwater filming for barbel and chub on the river. And not only did we catch loads of fish, mainly chub, we learnt a few things as well. When I was fishing with the larger hooks and slightly larger bait, we was attracting the chub and hooking up to the chub really easily. Meaning that if the barbel were in the swim, you'd catch a chub and the barbel would be spooked off. And after changing tactics ever so slightly to using a much smaller hook and a smaller bait, the chub were picking it up, not actually getting hooked up at all, allowing time for the barbel to take it. And right at the end of the video, we managed to finally catch that barbel we'd been after. Now I've taken everything that we learned from last week's video and I'm applying it to this week's video. I'm out roving the river, I'm in the middle of the countryside and I'm targeting barbel. So I'm going to be using size 12 hooks and either a single 6mm or 8mm pellet on the hair, as we found that was the optimal bait to use in the last video. And I'm going to be trying to catch some barbel and hopefully no chub. I love chub, but I love it when they're smashing my top water baits or smashing a bit of crust on the surface, not while I'm trying to catch barbel. Let's go get some.
The first area I was going to fish was actually where I'd left off from the previous video. I thought it might be a good chance to get a quick bite, and I wasn't wrong about that.
Whoa! What a take! They don't normally come much quicker than that, do they? Jesus, I was after the barbel, fishing the rig that I thought would be perfect for the barbel.
I was really hoping to avoid the chub this session, but sometimes you can't help it, especially when they smash it on the way down. Either way, it had taken it so early on, I was still quite hopeful I could get a take, and I cast straight back out there.
Yep, fish on, fish on. That's got to be a barbel. That's got to be a barbel this time. Oh boy, off like a rocket. This one has to be a barbel. Yes, it is. Get in. Definitely not a chub. There was chub and barbel both feeding down in this area though. So it is nice to know that I've picked out one of the barbel after getting that chub on the drop on the first cast. Saying that we've got to land it yet, haven't we? But at least I know I've got one on the end. There we go. 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 This is it. That should be the last good run, I think. Although you never do know with barbel, do you? Hey, he's stopped now. Now he's in the net. Lovely fish, probably about £6. Oh, and there's that pellet just off the corner of his mouth. Absolutely spot on. Well, it was a little touch and go in this swim when the first fish we hooked into was a chub on the drop as soon as the bait hit the water basically, but we made up for it now. Look at the tail on this one. That is mink damage. There's going to be a lot of you guys disagreeing with me there and saying it's definitely otter damage, but we don't have any otters, trust me. We've only got mink and we've got plenty of them as well. It's a real shame because this fish is, other than that mark on its tail, is pristine. And you know what, it hasn't really affected it. It's been fighting fit, and my God, that was one of the hardest fights I've had from a barbel in a long time. This fish is maybe about £6, but they go bigger in here. This one doesn't have many big ones, but hopefully later on we'll find a few. Let's get him back and hopefully we'll find one or two more down there and not those pesky chub.
This was a great start to the session, but seeing as I'd fished this swim basically the entirety of the last video, I didn't want to stick around here. I wanted to find bigger fish.
Fish on. absolutely ripped off. Oh my God. Oh boy. That feels like it could be a good fish. Let's tighten that drag up a little bit. I'm using my finger to control the drag. I've got a real habit with doing that. Having the drag set light, but using my finger to put a bit of extra pressure on. It comes in handy if they make them massive runs. It's got loads of, oh no, it hasn't got loads of weed on it. Just a nice fish. Thought it was gonna be bigger with the run that it made, but there is a bit of current coming down today. It's going through loads of weed. Come on. This could still be a 7 or 8 pounder. Oh, come on. Just need to get it over the line. Come on. So close, yet so far. Yes. He's in. Oh, that's a nice fish. That's a really nice fish. That could be an 8 or 9 pound barbel. Oh, look at that. There's that single pellet, look. That's 6mm, it stayed on the hair. The proof is in the pudding, size 12 hook, 6mm pellet just hanging out the corner. Absolutely spot on. This fish is £9, 10 ounce. And like I say, I didn't think it was actually much bigger than about £7 when it was on the mat. Nope, definitely not. I've been underestimating you guys. That is incredible. On a little bait, little hook, it does the business. We learned it in the last video and we're putting it into practice this video. What a fish. Let's get him back. Man, it's getting really, really bright right now, which actually isn't great for the fishing. I think we are forecast some clouds later on. Anyway, I've just caught a barbel. Well, I say just, about half an hour ago, we had that barbel that was £9, 10 ounce, a fantastic fish. But the swim is completely dead. It's frustrating because when I got here, there was probably 4 or 5 barbel feeding, as well as a handful of chub. I've been drip feeding the pellets into the swim, and that's what I like to do after I've caught a fish, especially a barbel, because they disturb the swim so much. I like to give the swim, you know, 20 minutes, 25 minutes of trickling bait in to gradually tempt the fish back into the spot, but they haven't come back, not at all. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to leave this spot, I'm going to throw in a couple of big handfuls of bait into the swim, and I'm going to go away. So essentially we're going to be pre-baiting it. I'll go off to another area, fish that for maybe an hour or two, and then we'll come back and see if the barbel have returned. If not, we'll go and find somewhere else to fish. Either way, I can't really complain with the way the session's going so far. I'm going to pack up my bits and bobs now, and fingers crossed, when we come back to the spot, we might have some fish back in it. There were some big ones down there. I think there might have been some that could have been into double figures as well. Let's go. Now, by far the easiest way to locate barbel is to find the structure. Overhanging trees, undercut banks, undercut roots, streamer weed with clear patches of gravel where you can tell the barbel have been feeding. But the best thing and the most important thing you need is a pair of glasses and plenty of bait. Because if like this, we've got a straight section, there's not too much particular structure, I can see a few clear patches, it can be a great idea just to throw in a few handfuls of pellets into some likely looking areas. And normally if the barbel are there, it doesn't take them too long to show themselves up. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm on a long stretch of river and I need to find some of these fish. And I am finding it a little tricky. But I'm plenty confident, I'm sure we'll find some. I'm in a really, really unique situation right now, and I'm gonna have to speak quite quietly because I've never had barbel in a swim that was so close in before. Normally, when you're out fishing for barbel, you need some kind of structure or weed beds, normally overhanging trees that give the barbel cover to go underneath, and normally they're on the opposite side of the bank. Whereas right now, there is barbel underneath my feet. These reeds and grass come out over the water and it's completely undercut for this section and that section, and it goes down to about 15 yards that way. And I've seen the tails and fins of the barbel as they're moving around underneath these weed beds. In fact, I can see one down there now. So what I'm gonna do is put a little bit of bait in. Oh, there's literally one. It's just gone underneath the weed down here. I'm gonna put a bit of bait in, I'm gonna get the rod, and I'm gonna lower it down into this gap in the weed, and fingers crossed we can get one. I've seen maybe 3 or 4 fish. That's really cool. Right, let's see if we can get one from 1 foot from the bank. That's gonna be really cool. We hooked into one right underneath the bank. Such a gentle take, just a few taps on the rod tip. I was unsure if it was a fish on. It's got to have come off. No, it's not, it's not. Oh my God, it's just under the reeds. I tried to net it under my feet, thinking I could net it quickly. It's literally powering itself underneath the reeds. That's why I put a rod in this position. This was a safe place underneath this undercut area. This is undercut to about here. All this reeds and grass is above the water. If I was to stand on that area or that area, I would just sink straight down. And this fish isn't even swimming out downstream or upstream. It's going underneath my feet. This is the weirdest barbel fight I've ever had in my life. Normally they either fly off upstream or fly off downstream. This one took the bait, went straight underneath the bank, underneath my feet, and I cannot pull it out. Look at the rod bending. It's just it's basically under my feet and underneath this undercut bank. There we go. It's come out, it's come out, it's come out finally. Oh, it's going back in again. I'm glad I brought my longer rod with me, a 12 footer. What a bizarre fight. It's just relentlessly trying to get underneath the near side bank for cover. There it is. Oh, we got it in, we got it in. Yeah. Oh my God, we got it. Yes. What a strange fight. There was no screaming runs whatsoever, just pull it under the bank, pull it back out, under the bank, back out. That is bizarre, and it's a good sized fish too. How often do you catch barbel as nice as that, just a foot from the bank? You saw where I positioned that bait, literally just dropped it off the edge of the reeds, and that was the craziest fight I think I've ever had from a barbel. Not exactly exhilarating, but the barbel just kept trying to bury underneath my near side margin. That was where its safe place was. I think when you've got a tree on the opposite bank you're fishing to, they're always trying to get underneath it. These fish were confident and happy underneath the near side margin. So when this fish was hooked, that's all it wanted to do, was go underneath the bank. Yes, I'm having a good session, aren't I? This is awesome. Well, that was a bit frustrating. There was still maybe 1, maybe 2 fish that I could see moving in and out from this swim after I caught the last one. They weren't feeding heavily, but I figured if I sat around long enough, maybe I could get them to start feeding again. And then a paddle boarder came through. And it's weird because I'm in the middle of the countryside. There's literally not a person I can see for miles across the fields. And a guy on a paddle board came through. And because those fish had already been spooked by me landing the other fish in this swim, they've all vanished. They all just shot off in one direction as the paddleboard came through. and I don't think they're going to come back anytime soon. But that's what we're doing this session, staying mobile. All I'll do is I'll travel up the river until we find another area. I've got polarized glasses on, throw some pellets in. As soon as we see some fish, a tail, we'll get set back up again. It's nice to see other people using the waterway, but man, it can be stressful. So I've got to a really nice bend in the river. Now there was no fish to start off with here, but after putting in a few handfuls of pellets, we've managed to get 2, and that's right, just 2 barbel feeding on the bottom. They're not huge, probably about 5 or 6 pound each, but we've got a big issue. Because this is on a bend, the water is traveling much faster, and the weed and the debris that's coming round is coming at such a high speed, it wiped the rig out within just seconds of it being in the water. So that's why having your lead on a run ring clip comes in real handy, because that way you can just get the lead, unclip it straight off, and now we've got a completely free line bait. So what I'm going to do is just flick it upstream, roll it along the bottom with the weed, and hopefully I might be able to pick one of those barbel up doing that. Wish me luck. You can see the barbel down the swim. A well-timed dropping of the bait, should be able to get one surely. Oh, he come off. Come off. Come out. That's perfect. It's rolling right down towards a barbel. 2 barbel. Go on. Oh, it come off. No. No, it came off. Oh, he nailed it. Well, the session's going great so far. I've had plenty of action, although I have just lost a couple of fish, which is a bit annoying. So now I think it's time to go back to the swim we fished a bit earlier on, the one where I caught the 10 pounder from. It's been about 2 hours since I fished that swim, but I know there was some fish in that area. I'm hoping, since I put plenty of feed in there before I left, there might be some fish feeding there now. So I'm gonna get on the bike and go, go, go. I've got about an hour and a half left of this session. It'd be really nice to end it on one more fish. Whoa, oh my God. Yes. That's another one. That's another one. Oh my God, what a session I'm having today. If I can land it. Oh. The great thing is, when you're fishing like this, when you're fishing quite finesse for barbel, and you're using smaller hooks and smaller baits, if the fish are down there and they're feeding on your spot, you generally get a take pretty darn fast. Just like that, I've just positioned the rig in the water, I've crouched down, and I bet if I look at the footage back, that was probably about 2 minutes before I got that take. The fish moved up the swim, feeding on the loose feed that I put in. And the moment they came into contact with the hook bait, they picked it up straight away. Oh, he's just come off. He's just come off. Oh, that is gutting. It's done me off in the weeds under the bank. Flip. Flipping flip. Right guys, so I'm currently sat well away from the bank, and that is because I was about to throw all my toys out the pram and I was going to go off home because I just lost that fish. I was actually gutted because this was supposed to be the last spot of the session to get me one last fish to end it on. And thankfully, I think it's because the barbel wasn't on for very long before it came off in the reeds. some of the other fish have started feeding. There isn't as many as there was before, maybe 2 or 3 barbel, but I'm gonna have one chance at catching these fish. I'm currently now opening my tub with my little 6mm pellet. I'm gonna get it into the swim really, really quietly in a minute, and hopefully we'll have one last shot at getting a fish before the end of the session. Wish me luck, fingers crossed. Yep, whoa, barbel on, barbel on. Get in. It's gone for all the weed in the margins, but it feels like a decent fish. Whoa! Come on. It's like a good fish. Looks like a really nice fish. It's almost done, it's got loads of weed on it. It's trying to power upstream, which is great for me. It's using its energy up without me having to do a great deal. It's got me caught up in so much weed, he might be able to twist the hook out. Although I am fishing a micro barbed, so I'm hoping it manages to stay on. Yep, it has. It's a good fish. Oh, it went in the net and out. God, that's a good sized barbel. That's a real nice one. I can't get his head in the net. Yes, he's in the net. He's in the freaking net. That's a good sized fish. That's a real good sized fish. Yes. Oh my God, that's easily over 10 pound. That's a beast. Oh, look at that hook. The small hook. That's a size 12. Size 12 micro barb. Let's pop it out and take a look at that straight away. That wasn't coming off. He was pinned. You do not need big hooks to catch big barbel. That is a fine wire, size 12 micro barbed hook with a single 6mm pellet. And that is how we do it. And that is a really nice barbel. That's probably one of the biggest ones I've ever caught. My net almost isn't big enough. Guys, I've just weighed it. It's 13 pound 10. 13 pound 10. It's a beast. Yes. Look at the size of that. My previous personal best barbel was 11 pound 8 ounce, and I caught that probably about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe more. This one, as you've just seen, is 13 pound 10 ounce. That is absolutely huge. The river I fish is only small. It's only a few feet deep for most of it. You don't find many fish this big in the river. I've heard of people catching up to about 12 pound. Obviously, I know there's biggish fish in here because I've caught them at over 11 pound. But to catch one over 13, not just that, but getting on towards 14 pound is absolutely monstrous. And you know what? I bet this fish has still got a bit of weight to pack on as well. Oh my God, I cannot believe it. It's a shame we didn't have the underwater camera down there, innit? That is a monster. Let's get him back and end this session. Oh my Lord. Wow guys, what an incredible catch that was from the local river. Just blown my mind. I never thought that I would ever catch a fish that close to 14 pound, a barbel that close to 14 pound from the local river. Previous personal best was 11 pound 8. I've heard people catching fish over 12 pound. I've had people in the past claim to have caught 14 pounders that ended up being lies basically. And these were fish that were more like 10, 11 pound that people were claiming were larger. So that's probably one of the biggest verified, I'm gonna sound really big-headed now, that's probably one of the biggest verified fish, barbel-wise, that I've heard caught out of the local river. That's blown my mind, and that fish could easily be a 14 pounder in the next 2 months, 3 months, as we go into winter time. Oh my God. If you've liked this video, don't forget to like it. Subscribe if you want to. I'm gonna have to be getting on with some pike and perch fishing soon, although I could fish for these every single week. The ones that big anyway. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys later.